All right. Hi, welcome, folks. Should we give it like another minute or two, Yvonne? Let more
Yeah, we'll
people
give it
in?
like a few minutes,
Yeah.
'cause I think some people are still joining right now.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get started in a few minutes.
Oh, and also if you have questions already off the bat, feel free to ask them. I see somebody already put a question in about whether or not this opportunity is for Hispanic students only. And it's not just for Hispanic students. And we'll kind of go over that also a little bit later, how some of the programs here, they're designed initially to be for our Hispanic population, but they're open to anyone. The only thing for this opportunity is you have to be a transfer student. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, I think we can probably get started. Um,
Yeah, sure thing. Um, yeah, I'll share my screen. We do have a couple slides ready for you all.
and Alexis, your question will also be answered with the presentation. So if it's not, just ask again at the end.
All right, does everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so welcome to the Cultivamos Excelencia Research Scholars Program info session. This is our second one, our last one before the deadline. And yeah, my name is Daniel Arias. I'm with another mentor, Yvonne. Should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, we'll tell you a little bit about real quick, just introducing ourselves and then we'll get started. But my name is Yvonne Vasquez. I am currently a fourth year PhD student here at UC Santa Cruz. I'm part of the Molecular Cell and Developmental Biology program, and I'm part of the Vasky Lab, and we pretty much study pediatric cancer genomics. So that's what I'm working on. And I'm also not a transfer student, but you'll hear a little bit about some of the other graduate student mentors, and they are transfer students. Um,
All right, and yeah, again, my name is Daniel Arias. I'm a third year PhD student in the literature department, Santa Cruz, and my research focuses on contemporary Latinx poetry, and I'm specifically interested in like the publishing dynamics, since a lot of them have to publish through independent publishers, and I'm interested in how that sort of like creates an experimental type of poetics. So that's a bit of like my research in a nutshell. And I am a transfer student. I went to De Anza Community College in Cupertino for about 3 years. I finished there and transferred in 2016. And yeah, I really enjoyed my experience there.
yeah, and just quick question for all of you on the Zoom call. We're just a little curious. For those of you who are transfer students, what community college did you transfer from? If you could put that in the chat, just so we
Yeah,
could learn a little bit more about who's watching.
yeah, we'd love to hear where you came from. And then also if you want to include like what your major is, we're so interested in that as well. Sorry, I can't see the chat, Yvonne. I don't know if you want to
Oh
shout
yeah,
out
yeah.
some people
Well,
and where they're from.
perfect. Okay, so
Okay.
some people are from Riverside City College, Glendale
Okay.
Community College, Diablo Valley College,
Nice.
Westa Community College in San Luis Obispo. We have Fresno City College for another person, sociology department, psych
Cool.
major, literature, hopefully CW concentration.
Ooh, nice.
Okay,
Dope. Dope. Thank you all for sharing.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good mix.
yeah, awesome. But thank you for being here. And yeah, we'll get started. Oh, there you go.
Okay, So the first thing we kind of just wanted to cover was what does it mean for UCSC to be a Hispanic serving institution? I just don't know how many of you have heard of, the term HSI. So HSI stands for Hispanic Serving Institution. Essentially, what this means is uh, that the university currently has a population of undergraduate students that's at least or greater than 25% Latinx or Hispanic identifying. And so because UCSC is an HSI, we qualify for special funding and initiatives and to develop programs to better provide a better education experience for this population of students. So currently, UC Santa Cruz has about 15 HSI programs that we offer, but right now we kind of just wanted to highlight two of them that we think might be of interest for you undergrads on the call. So one of the programs is called Ganas, and this program supports Latinx, low-income, and underrepresented students that are attending UC Santa Cruz, and this helps to remove some of the barriers that are impeding success during your time here. And this includes opportunities like providing career advising and also providing support in helping to guide students through the graduate school application process. So if that's a program you're interested in, it's open to all UCSC undergrads. You don't have to be a transfer student to apply for that one. But the one we're going to talk about today and to highlight is called the Cultivamos Excelencia program. And this program provides pathways for Hispanic or Latinx identifying transfer students while they pursue their higher education here at UC Santa Cruz. So again, big difference is like with Ganas, it could be any type of undergrad. You don't have to be a transfer student, but for Cultivamos Excelencia, you do have to be a transfer student. That's kind of the one requirement in terms of being able to apply. And Daniel's going to tell you next a little bit more about Cultivamos Excelencia.
Yeah, thank you, Yvonne. Yeah, so Cultivamos Excelencia is part of one of these HSI initiatives. And this Research Scholars Program is the program where you come in, where you get the opportunity to get hands-on research experience. And so, yeah, the Cultivamos Excelencia seeks to expand graduate pathways of transfer students by offering paid research experience and mentoring support. And a big reason behind this is that we understand that there are a lot of financial barriers that can prevent us as students from fully engaging and participating in like a big research institution such as UC Santa Cruz. And this is why, we believed it was crucial that this position be paid. And so what to expect here is you're going to be part of a 12 transfer student cohort. There'll be you along with 11 other people, and you're going to be conducting paid research. And each of you will be paired with one of our 4 mentors. And that's us. So it's me, Daniel, and then Yvonne, and 2 other mentors that we'll introduce in a moment. And you're going to get paired with a faculty mentor. And this is going to be someone who ideally is in your research field or at least close to it. And essentially, like our role as graduate mentors, we are here to offer you guidance and support as you navigate through your research position, through your transfer experience at UC Santa Cruz. So we hope to connect you with the various research centers or resource programs on campus specifically designed for transfer students. And of course, if you're considering applying to grad school, we hope to give you guidance on that. We hope to share our materials with you. We were at that stage one point, and so we want to make sure that you use us as a resource. And then, the role of the faculty mentors is there to, of course, provide you with hands-on research experience through their lab, through their research projects. And we strongly encourage them to have regular check-ins with you. And myself, along with the other mentors, we've met with all these faculty members. And so we feel like we could match you with people who are super interested in helping out transfer students and helping out people who don't have research experience or do have it. So we're really excited to match you up with a faculty mentor as well. And yeah, you'll be offered $2,000 for up to 100 hours of research per quarter. So this is in the winter, 100 hours in the winter, 100 hours in the spring. And your commitment for on a weekly basis is going to be 10 hours. And essentially how that's divided is 1 hour of meeting with one of us, and then 9 hours of your research work, and then also meeting with your faculty mentor. And of course, this program is a commitment, for winter and spring. And so, yeah, that's the Research Scholars Program in a nutshell. Yeah, the next slide will introduce all of us research scholar mentors.
And also if anybody has questions while we're presenting, please feel free to interrupt us,
Yes.
or drop something in the chat. And I see someone was asking about where they can find the recording of this meeting. Daniel, do you remember the answer to that actually?
Uh, I think it was going to be in the FAQs, but it might be in the HSI website.
Okay,
I would-
good for people to know.
Yeah,
Um, okay, so next we wanted to introduce the graduate student mentors for the program. So as Daniel mentioned, each student that's part of the cohort, you will be paired with a particular mentor who will help provide you with more guidance. But I do want to stress that like all of the mentors are available for you and to serve as resources for navigating research, applying to post-grad programs, and also offering career development opportunities. And so for the program, we have 4 UCSC graduate students that will be your mentors. So there's Brian Rivera from the literature department. He's a second-year PhD student and also a former transfer student. There's myself. I've already introduced myself. Also Daniel already introduced himself. And then the last mentor is Ulysses, and he is part of the applied mathematics department, and he's a third-year PhD student and also a former transfer student. And so you can see there's like a good kind of range of different majors of like STEM, non-STEM. So those are, again, the graduate student mentors who will be providing extra support as you navigate your experience through the program.
yeah,
And next, we're going to just let you know about some key important dates in terms of
yeah,
applying for the program.
yeah. And I was just going to clarify. So the recording should be posted on the Cultivamos Excelencia website. So that one, we could show you how to get to there, like when we do the application demo, but it should be the recordings. There was an info session last week. That one should be posted on that website, and then ours will be posted either later today or tomorrow. So yeah, important dates. Obviously, today is November 13th. The most important one to keep in mind is the application is due 2 days from now. So like, please don't forget that, like try to get it in by that day or before that, as soon as possible, the most important step. And yeah, just where, once we get all those applications and the application closes, we're going to be reviewing the applications for about 2 or 2.5 weeks. And we'll notify you if you've been accepted into the program by the end of November, December 1st. And once you get notified, you'll just get about 3 days to accept. So if you could just accept as soon as possible, that would be perfect. And of course, the program like actual start days are going to be the beginning of the winter quarter. So January 5th is like the quarter start date, but instruction doesn't begin till the 7th or 8th, I believe. And that's when you'll begin to like do your 10 hours. And through that process, from getting notified about the application decision to accepting it, and then between that and the winter quarter, we'll be in contact with you to like make sure you get paired with a faculty mentor and like how to hit the ground running in the winter quarter. So yeah, those are important dates to keep in mind. Wednesday, the application. So we're actually gonna go over the application together now. And I'm actually gonna share my screen and I'll show you the website where you'll find this application. But we did want to clarify, so Handshake is this website where you apply to different jobs. And if you don't have access to Handshake, which if you're a winter admit, that's totally possible. There's still a way to apply, and that's just directly through the Google form because the application is mainly through the Google form, and we'll show you that. So give me a moment. I'm gonna change my share screen.
And also, Alexis, to answer your question, as long as you've emailed the corrections, don't worry, that won't affect anything. I think you should be good. Perfect.
Okay. Wait, you see my, all right. It's on the Cultivamos Excelencia, right, Ivan?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Yeah. So I guess really quickly, like you could find this page just by going to hsi.ucsc.edu. And once you get to that homepage, you just go to undergrad student and you go to Cultivamos Excelencia Research Scholars. And then yeah, you'll get all the information on the application here. Of course, I have the info for the info session. And this is where you're going to want to go to open the application. Oh, did you get that error message as well? There you go. I don't know what happened with that first link, but if it doesn't work, just click it again. It should work. So yeah, this is the Handshake portal. Um, did you want to share anything about this, Yvonne, before I open up the Google form?
If you haven't used Handshake before and this is your first time, it's just going to prompt you to enter your or to like put in your UCSC Gmail account information and your gold password. So that's the only thing. And yeah, I think for this, it just has the description of the role, all the stuff we kind of described to you already, and you can just click where it says view application, and that'll take you
Yeah,
that directly to the Google form that is the actual application that you have to fill out for this program.
exactly. It says I applied, but I didn't, I swear. I just accidentally hit yes, and now it thinks I applied, but I'm not being considered. And so yeah, you just click on this link, and this will be the actual the bulk of the application, the Google form. And yeah, it's really straightforward. The first couple pages, I'll actually go to editing mode so we could see the whole application together. The first essentially page is going to just be asking like demographic information. So your name, your major, college affiliation, transfer student, and your post-graduation plan. And then the application is split up into questionnaire and short paragraph questions. So the short paragraph questions will come in the like section 2, section 3 in the Google form. Did you want to maybe share a bit about that, Yvonne?
Yeah, so for these sections, it's you can share as much or as little as you want for these personal statement questions. We just want to be able to get to know a little bit more about you, what your interests are, your background, the things that motivate you. If you're deciding on pursuing graduate school, maybe again, just reasons that motivate you, what your interests are. So feel free to just use those sections to
Yeah.
describe again anything that you feel comfortable with and that maybe you want us to know, just to know you a little bit better. And yeah, so that's those sections. And also, yeah, for prior research or work experience, again, feel free to share anything that you think might be relevant there. And then after that section is done, there's a section where we then ask you to describe your research project / faculty mentor preferences. And that's because, again, for this program, we're going to pair you with a faculty mentor, and faculty mentors have already been selected. So there's a select list of faculty mentors and the projects that they're willing to offer for this program. So there is a link there where you can actually view a page where it'll show all of our different faculty mentors and projects that are available for the program. So yeah, you will have to sign in to view this. And so yeah, this website will show, like, for example, there's this first professor from the applied mathematics department and a little description of what the project is. So you're going to be asked to put your preference between all of these different types of projects. And this doesn't impact your ability to get accepted into the program, who you decide to work with. It's just for us to know for once you are accepted, we'll just know who to pair you with.
Yeah. Yeah,
So yeah,
feel free to like browse the site. It's also like you could get to this link before you even go into the application. It's this one right here. You could jump straight to that one if you want to like look at the faculty before you begin the application. Yeah, there's a good amount. So yeah, just rank them based on your own research interest. And we know that some of them might not perfectly fit in with your research, but even if they're like in the same division, things like that, that would that's not going to disqualify you from, the program. We still want to, have you, reach out, broaden your interest. So yeah, that's that. That's pretty much the application. There's some additional materials that you could put. The resume and CV we wanted to like clarify is completely optional. Um, you could choose to do so if you'd like, but if you don't, that's totally fine as well. And there's this final question. Well, there's second to final last question, which is fun. Like, what is one thing that instantly makes your day better? We definitely want to incorporate those healthy habits into our life. So if you could share that, that'd be wonderful. And then the final question is just like confirm that you completed this form and your Handshake application. The Handshake application just means like that you logged into Handshake, that you said that you've applied. And then of course, like if you're a winter admit, then you would just put that you're winter admit. That just means that you've only submitted this Google form. And so just for clarification purposes, those final questions. So yeah, let me go back. Is there anything that we need to cover on the application before I switch back to the presentation?
No, I think that's good. Unless somebody has a burning question right now, you can
Yeah.
put it in the chat or unmute and ask. But we'll also have time for questions at the end too.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay, and then I'll share the presentation. Nope, that's not it. Sorry. There you go. Okay. So yeah, additional requirements like I mentioned, the resume or CV is optional. It's totally fine if you don't. If you wanted to like include it, you feel like it's something that you already have ready, feel free to add it. But like I said, it's completely optional. And then yeah, depending on the project that you select or the faculty mentor that you would like to work on, there might be a faculty who would like to interview you. But that is something that we'll like be in touch with you about as like, the decisions come out, as we figure all of that part out. So you won't have to interview with us, the mentors. We're just going to be looking over your application materials and we'll be making decisions based on that. There's just like a handful of faculty who might want to, get to meet you, ask you about previous experience, things like that. So that's the additional requirement. That and yeah, these are important links.
Yeah, here we just put a couple of links that we think might be of interest for you. So the first one there is just the link to the UCSC HSI website. So if you want to learn a little bit more about this program or even any of the other programs that are offered here at UCSC, you can go to that page. And then links that are specific to this program, the Cultivamos Excelencia Research Scholars Program, there's a link right there to the application, or at least the one in Handshake. And then we also have an FAQ page available for you all if you navigate to that second one. And that link will go through a bunch of questions that you might have about the program or the application. And again, if you're a winter admit in there, you will find a link to the Google Form application so that you can kind of get over the obstacle of not having a Handshake account yet. And then finally, that last link there is the project description page where it lists again all the faculty and the different projects that they're offering. So I will just go ahead and drop some of these links in the chat.
Yeah, we definitely recommend looking over the FAQ page, either before or while you're doing the application, because there might be something that comes up and is answered there.
And then I see there's a question from Alexis. If you're not selected, can you still be connected to the faculty mentors that are working on similar things you want to pursue? Yeah, I mean, you definitely can, here at UC Santa Cruz, we're not going to tell you you can't contact a faculty member. You're more than welcome to still contact them. It's just unclear if they're going to have a spot in their lab. But the nice thing with Cultivamos Excelencia is that you will have like a guaranteed spot. But yeah, even if you're not selected for the program, and sometimes for some of the faculty members, they might not get a student either. So there might be some openings, but we could always put you in contact if that is something you're interested in.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely want to advocate that don't be afraid to like cold email some of the faculty. It's their job to help us as students. So like, you have all like the complete right to do that. And you never know, you might make a great connection. So definitely advocate for that. So those are the links. And yeah, we got to the final part. We want to open it up for general questions for us. about the application, about this whole program, anything that we could clarify for you. Like you could unmute yourself. You could also put the question in the chat.
Okay. First question is, what projects are Daniel, you and I working on, and how has our experience been? I guess as grad students. So if you want to go
Yeah.
first.
Um, that's so cool. So I just saw Fatima Arias. We have the same last name, so that's actually really cool. That's the person who asked the question, right?
Oh no, that was Tabitha.
Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Sorry. I jumped ahead. Yeah. So the projects that it's been kind of different. I've sort of just been doing like my research independently. But I guess I could talk about how, working with faculty in the literature department has gone. I found that they've been, extremely supportive of my work, also of like, the different barriers that I encounter as like a first gen grad student. And um, so far it's been really good. It's been challenging in many ways, learning how to do research. And my research is a bit different because I'm in the literature department, so it has to do with like a lot of reading, a lot of literature reviews, and finding the research gaps in the literature that I read. Um, so I guess, yeah, it might be a little different for Yvonne, I think, since you actually work in a lab.
Yeah. Yeah, my experience has been very interesting. So yeah, I work in part as part of the molecular cell developmental biology program. Um, Quick fun fact, I actually was an undergrad also at UC Santa Cruz. I was also an molecular cell developmental biology major, and I was part of College 10 back when it was College 10. But when I was an undergrad, I started doing research in the lab that I'm currently in right now. So I actually started as an undergrad, and then I still didn't know that I wanted to go to grad school, but it was during my gap year with that lab that I just decided it was something I wanted to pursue. So now I'm in grad school with the same lab, but I study pediatric cancer genomics. And so, I mean, I've been working on so many different projects, but I guess one project I could tell you about that we've been working on was a collaboration with Stanford. Um, so something like with pediatric cancers is that they're very under-researched and they're a little bit more rare than adult cancers. So the treatment options that are out there are just so outdated. There's been like very slow progress in that field. And also because they're so rare, there's just no progress in kind of efforts of finding better therapies and also non-toxic therapies. Because a lot of times, like these kids are treated with things like chemotherapy and radiation, but what people don't realize is that those treatments are super, super toxic. And so a lot of times, even though a kid will be cured from their cancer, those toxic treatments will cause really long-term health defects that will impact them later in life. So we see kids with like either mental defects or things like their kind of physical abilities are impaired. So a really big goal of my lab is to try to find more kind of personalized, non-toxic treatments for kids that have cancer. So with Stanford, we had this collaboration where we took like about 30 kids that had really difficult to treat cancers, and they were kind of at the end of the line. They had no more treatment options, and we we looked at sequencing data of their tumors to try to identify specific treatments for that particular kid's cancer. And so with that, we actually had a couple of success cases where some of the kids were actually cured from their cancer and have like no long-term health effects or toxicities from the treatment. So I'm working right now on publishing that, but that was kind of like one project that I've worked on in the lab. And I don't know, I think with my lab and my work and my research, it's super rewarding. And I've really enjoyed it. And I know grad school is really hard, but it's kind of things like that where you're working on something that's really motivating that kind of keeps you going. So I'm really excited about that. And it's actually encouraged me to want to stay in the field of pediatric cancer because, like I said, this is a really underserved population um, of people in research. So I kind of want to work on that for the rest of my career. So I'm going to continue that. And yeah, thank you for the great comments. But if anybody is interested in more, you can talk to me later. You can see my email there. And I think there are a couple of other questions.
Yeah.
Someone asked, will there be specific meeting times during the quarter, or how would meeting times work? So the only kind of requirements for the program are the number of hours you need to meet. Like, for example, you will meet with your graduate student mentor 1 hour a week. But in terms of times, that's going to completely depend on your schedule and also your mentor schedule. So it will be customizable for every single person or every research scholar that's accepted into the program. So again, that's kind of like up to you.
Yeah. And we'll definitely like be in touch with you through that whole process. So like you'll know definitely in advance, like we'll plan it out based around your schedule.
And also it's going to be very flexible. So it's like if you can't make a certain time and you need to reschedule it, we will be flexible with that. And also we know that things change quarter to quarter. We were one students too, so we know that, some one week you might be like busy with studying for like a midterm or something. So it will be
Yeah,
flexible. We are here to help you, not kind of hurt you or stress you out anymore than
exactly.
school already is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then someone asked, how do we access the Zoom recording? I accidentally thought today's meeting time was at 1:30. Um, and yeah, Daniel, you mentioned this earlier, so I'll let you say it again.
Yeah, yeah. So the Zoom recordings, and just to clarify, there was an info session last week and there was a recording for that. There's going to be a recording for this one, and they're going to be posted on the HSI website. And so, yeah, if you go to hsi.ucsc.edu and you go to Cultivamos Excelencia Research Scholars Program, that's where they'll be posted.
Great. And then someone asked, how do we submit an application on Handshake if the main application is a Google form? Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great question. So there
it is.
actually isn't anything to submit on Handshake. When we say like, did you submit on Handshake? As long as you open up the link on Handshake through your Google account, it will say that you applied to it. So that's all you have to do. You don't actually have to
Yeah,
click on anything within Handshake.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully that answers that. And then someone asked, it says on the website that the program serves Hispanic, first generation, and low income transfers. Do you have to fall under all three to apply? And the answer to that is no. So something with, I didn't mention this too much earlier, but with, UC Santa Cruz being a Hispanic serving institution and like us having these funds to develop these programs initially are designed to, first help out our Hispanic or Latinx identifying students. But in reality, these programs are there to serve our entire population of students. So you don't have to check any of these kind of like boxes in order to apply. You don't have to check any of them at all. We just, again, for the Cultivamos Excelencia program, the only requirement is that you are a transfer student. That's the only kind of thing where you have to meet that kind of like box. But everything else, again, it's open to any student to apply as long as you're a transfer student.
Yeah. Perfect.
And I see, yeah, someone else also asked that question. So hopefully that answered it for you. And then did the info session last week cover different information from today? No, it was the exact same
Yeah.
information, just by the two other research scholars. So probably
Yeah.
presented in a different format, but all the same information. So you weren't missing out.
Yeah.
Besides a debate about coffee or tea and which is better. I think that's the only thing you're missing out on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only thing that happened, but it was very similar slides and everything, same info. And those people got to meet the other mentors.
Okay, and then question for you, Daniel. Once you
Oh,
transferred, was there anything that took a while getting used to? For example, the quarter system instead of semester or making connections with people?
yeah, thank you for that question. It's a really good one. And I'll be very honest, there was a lot that took a while to get used to. I transferred, so my community college was quarter system, and then I transferred into a semester system. So that was like a big shift for me. Um, like the semester just felt really, really, really long for me. Um, but like also just adapting to that was a challenge, and making connections with people was also very, very challenging. And I think the main reason behind that is because, when you transfer in, you usually come in as a junior. So you're kind of like pressed for time. Like you're very limited. Like you have to like just jump into your upper division courses. You got to start thinking about, graduation soon. So you're kind of like of course you're coming in and your credits transfer, and that's a great advantage, but also like it's a disadvantage in terms of like adapting and getting situated in that university. So there's a lot of things that come up, and I was really lucky that a lot of people from my like a good handful of people from my community college transferred to the university with me to Berkeley, and so I was able to like keep like stay together with that close knit community. because without that, it would have been really difficult for me to like meet people who've already been there for 3, 4 years, who've already established all those connections. So yeah, there was a lot to get used to, and that's just like two of the like small things. There's a lot to adjust, and this is something that like we could talk about in mentor meetings. Like we know that it's not easy to shift from a community college to university. So, we hope to provide you the support that either we lacked or that we got from somewhere else. I'm really grateful for the transfer research center on campus, because like that helped me a lot at Berkeley. So yeah, that was just a few of the things. But thank you for that question. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm also just curious for those of you on the call, when did you transfer to UCSC? Are you all like winter admits, or have you been here for a little while? Just curious. Okay, someone's winter transfer last fall. Someone, this is their first quarter, fall admit, fall 2023. Okay, a lot of fall admits. Okay, someone winter 2024. Oh, okay, fall 2023, fall 2023, fall 2022. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, so just curious from you all, like what do you feel has been one of the hardest adjustments, or also maybe what's one thing that you wish that you had support for like right now to help you with your experience?
I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. That way we can
Oh yeah, go for it.
have it open. You could also share like what's your favorite part about Santa Cruz, like the area, or what's your least favorite part?
I see. Okay. So Pia, you said I'm assuming wishing that you had more opportunities to make friends, specifically among transfer students.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're currently working on, gathering a list of kind of transfer hotspots on campus. So
Yeah.
places on campus or programs or offices where they are designed specifically to help transfer students. But I know that the STARS program has been a really great resource for some people and like a great place to meet other transfer students. And I don't know if that's something you've looked into. But yeah, we're gonna work on that resource thing and we'll end up putting
Yeah.
it on our website. So it'll be accessible to anyone, regardless of whether or not you're in the Cultivamos Excelencia Research Scholars Program.
Yeah.
Um, okay, perfect.
Awesome. You
You have
reached out to stars. And yeah, I wanted to emphasize that when I was a transfer student, like I didn't reach out to those resource centers until like my final year. And I totally regret that. So like if you're on the fence, like I definitely recommend like going to stars, like reaching out, because like they're just gonna be super helpful, and they're there specifically to help you. So like you belong in those spaces and you deserve to like take advantage of those resources. So that's just a reminder about that.
Yeah, and another thing with Stars that's really cool is they just got a new space on the second floor, I think, of the Bay Tree bookstore. And we went to go visit it recently,
It's
and
fire.
it's so nice. They have a nice TV. They have their little like cafecitos like station and like
Yeah.
tea. They have a food pantry. They have a
Yeah.
kind of toiletries, like basic needs things. It's a
Yeah.
nice like little space if you need to study or if you just need to like take a nap on their couches. It's very cozy. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna put the link to the Stars program here.
Yeah. Super, super nice. And everyone's extremely friendly and welcoming. So like just go up there, introduce yourself. And I'm sure people will be happy to give you a mini tour or something. But also, yeah, so many places that you could just study, chill, get away from things. So
Yeah, and again, they are there to serve transfer students, so you
yeah.
are always like welcome in that space. And then I see someone said that finding scholarships and free resource opportunities has also been a struggle. Um, and yeah, we agree. It's super, super difficult. And again, that's another thing that we're going to be working on. And we hope that for especially students that are part of the program, like we're going to provide those types of resources and help you learn how to access them and how to access a lot of the resources that are on campus because there's so many resources and
Yeah.
it sucks that a lot of stuff it's kind of like word of mouth and it's hard to kind of hear about these opportunities even though there's a lot out there, so we're hoping that that's something we can help with.
Yeah.
Okay. And then someone else said, making more connections with faculty and research opportunities. It really does feel like you need to hit the ground running and it's overwhelming when you are already a first gen. And a lot of self-advocacy is needed, which I didn't expect. Yeah, I completely relate to that. I feel like even though we are a research institution and there's a lot of research opportunities, it's like super, super competitive. And one thing that's always kind of upset me a little bit is that a lot of faculty kind of expect you to already have experience going in to apply, and they'll prioritize students with experience. And I think that's super unfair because we all start from somewhere. And I was like really fortunate that, when I got started in my lab, I had no experience and they took me on anyways. So I really kind of relate to that. And again, like you said, especially when it's first gen, you already kind of like feel like sometimes it's difficult. And so having to navigate that is hard. And yeah, like you said, a lot of self-advocacy is needed. And again, we hope that whether or not you're accepted to this program, I don't know, at least I'm always here if anybody needs to talk and you need help with that, because we just want to make sure that you're not alone and that you can go after some of these opportunities even though it feels like you can't.
Yeah. And a big part of the motivation behind this program is to like sort of prevent those barriers from coming in your way. Like you already have so much on your plate coming in. And so, if we could be the mentors who like help connect you with faculty that we are already familiar with, we know which are cool, we know which ones would be, willing to work with you. Like that's something that we want to make sure that you don't have to worry about those parts, at least take away some of that stress.
Yeah, and also Goldie Vamos Excelencia is just one program. There's so many programs
Yeah.
out there, and so this program might be a good fit for some people and not for another person. So again, reach out, and if you need help like finding a program that is a good fit for you, we are also like working on gathering a resource of that, of like all the different opportunities that there are. And some of us are working on different things, so we can definitely help you find like a good fit for yourself if
Yeah.
maybe the program isn't it. And then I see another question. How have you guys managed with the housing issue? Are you guys dorming or sharing an apartment with others?
Mhm.
I don't know if this is specific for us or if it's for everybody on the call, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, housing. I'm not dorming right now. I did stay in the dorms when I was an undergrad, but at this moment in time, I have a townhouse with two other grad students. But yeah, the housing issue has been very difficult. Um, yeah, and of course, like rent increases are happening too. So I don't know, it has been difficult. And I know that finding housing is tough. And it sucks because this is another thing where it's always word of mouth. You might hear of somebody who like knows of an opening, and so it's difficult to get housing. But I don't know, Daniel, what's your experience been?
Yeah, no, it's it's definitely rough. I actually commute. I'm a commuter, so I live in San Jose. I think I've commuted almost every institution I've been at. I commuted college, I commuted when I did my undergrad and now in grad school. And a lot of that has to do with like, yeah, it's just so expensive to live in Santa Cruz. It's extremely limited. So right now I live with my brother and my sister. And so that's just been the best way that I can manage. And I've just outweighed like whether commuting is worth like the rent. And that was the best option for me. But like Yvonne mentioned, like unfortunately, like a lot of the information on this is like word to mouth. And I think I just want to reemphasize like reaching out to those resource centers will be one good way to like get that word of mouth because you'll be able to like talk to other people who are dealing with the same issues as you are. And obviously that's not a solution, but that's like one of the very few limited options that you have. But we definitely understand that it's not easy. And there's like various housing email lists um, that they could probably like, put you in touch with. But yeah, we definitely know it's not easy.
Yeah, I remember when I was an undergrad, there's like a Facebook page
Yeah.
for housing stuff at UC Santa Cruz specifically. I remember I used that. I remember yeah, I was on like so many things just to find even just the place that I'm at now. There's like Craigslist, there's Zillow, and then I just put another one that's like UCSC community rental. So this is people who are specifically, they know that they're renting to UCSC students. So there's a lot of opportunities, but yeah, it's a lot to like filter through.
Mhm.
But I get the struggle.
I
Um,
was also going to post our emails in the chat. That way, if you have like questions that come up later, you could reach out to us. Yeah, so there's Yvonne's and there's mine.
Yeah, are there other questions that people have about the program or even just life at UCSC? I mean, I've been here for 8 years now, so I definitely know a lot from both the undergrad and grad student perspective. But yeah, feel free again to ask any questions related to any topics.
Yeah. We could probably stop the recording, right, Yvonne, at this point?
Oh, yeah.